Beyond the Red House, where we turn trauma into triumph and pain into purpose. I'm Kayla Valterno, author of I Was Once the Girl in the Red House, and I believe in the power of authentic healing stories. This is a space where your voice matters, your story heals, and your journey inspires others to break their own cycles. Whether you're just beginning your healing or years into building your new life, you belong here. Let's explore what it means to move beyond the red houses that hurt us and build the lives we actually deserve. Welcome back to Beyond the Red House. Today we're going to be talking about something that I personally struggle with, and that's knowing when to ask for help and actually allowing yourself to rest. And I know I'm not alone in this because so many of us who come from backgrounds like we do have this deep-rooted belief that we have to do everything ourselves, that asking for help is weakness, that rest is something we have to earn. And let me tell you where this comes from for a lot of us. When you've grown up in a dysfunctional or toxic environment, you learn really quickly that you can't depend on other people. Maybe you asked for help as a kid and you were ignored or told to figure it out yourself. Maybe you learned that needing something made you a burden. Maybe the adults in your life were so unpredictable that it felt safer to just do things on your own. So you became hyper-independent. You became the person who has it all together and doesn't need anyone. But here's the thing. That survival skill served you in that time. It got you through. It helped you survive a situation where you genuinely couldn't rely on people. But now you're out of that situation. Even if you've built a new life, that programming is still running in the background. You still believe that needing help means you're failing, that rest equals lazy, and that you have to prove your worth by constantly doing and achieving things. I want to talk about what this actually looks like in real life. You're exhausted, but you keep saying yes to things. You're overwhelmed, but you don't want to bother anyone with your problems. You're running on empty, but you tell yourself you'll rest when everything's done, except everything is never done. You'll push through that burnout. You'll ignore your body's signals. You'll wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor because it means you're trying, you're working hard, you're not giving up. And asking for help, that feels almost impossible. You'd rather struggle in silence than admit you can't handle something. You'd rather do a mediocre job alone than ask someone to help you who could do it well. You've convinced yourself that if you can't do it by yourself, it doesn't count. I've been doing this for years. I would be drowning, absolutely drowning, and I would never ask for help. I would say, no, I got it, even though very clearly I did not. Even when accepting help would have made my life so much easier because somewhere deep down I believed that needing help meant I was weak, that I was too much, that I was a burden. All the things I was told or made to feel like as a kid. So let's talk about what's changed and what might help you too. First, I recognize that hyper-independence is actually a trauma response. It's not a personality trait. It's not who I am at my core. It's a defense mechanism that I've developed to survive. And while I'm grateful it got me through, I don't need it anymore. It's now holding me back from deeper connections and a more sustainable life. Think about it. When you refuse to let anyone help you, when you never show vulnerability, when you have it all together, you're actually keeping people at arm's length. You're not letting anyone truly see you or support you the way that they want to. Real relationships, meaningful, they require letting people show up for you in the way you show up for them. I started small. I started with my husband. I refused to let him help me. I would be absolutely drowning. especially when it comes to our kids. I was always like, no, I got it. I got it. I got it. And I was burnt out, sick all the time. I couldn't do anything. I was so tired. So I started saying, you know what? Yes, I do need help. Please help me with this or this, little things here and there. And then I realized it is so much nicer to ask for help than to try and do everything on my own. And you know what happened? Nothing bad. He didn't say, oh, I don't want to do this. He was like, no, let me help. And he didn't think less of me. He didn't roll his eyes or make me feel like a burden. And I'm slowly getting better at letting other people outside of my husband help. That is what I'm still working on. So, again, not perfect. And I had to reframe what asking for help meant, because it's not a weakness. It's actually wisdom, knowing your limits, being resourceful. Some of the strongest, most successful people are really good at asking for help, because they understand that nobody does anything meaningful completely alone. Now let's talk about rest, because that's the other piece of the puzzle. And rest is not something you earn. Let's say that again. Rest is not something you have to earn. It's not something you deserve by being productive enough or working hard enough or checking off enough items on your to-do list. Rest is a basic need, like food and water. Your body requires it. Your brain requires it. And no amount of hustle culture messaging changes our biological fact. For so many of us with trauma, rest feels dangerous. When you stop moving, those thoughts catch up with you. I don't know about you, but for me, it's always when I'm trying to fall asleep. It's the feelings you've been trying to outrun all day. You've been busy, staying distracted, and you convince yourself you don't have time to rest. But what it is you're scared of what happens if you do. What happens if you do slow down? Or maybe rest feels selfish. You look around and see everything that needs to be done in your house. Because let's be real, especially if you have kids, there's always 1,000,005 things you need to do in a day. Or everyone who needs something from you, aka my children, constantly. And you think, maybe, how can I rest when I have so much to do? Or you have your kids wanting this and that. But you need to take some time to just allow your body to relax. Relax is a word I'm still trying to learn the meaning of, because my body doesn't know how to. Especially because, I don't know about you, but for me, you feel guilty about taking time for yourself when maybe you could be doing something productive or helping out with the kids. But I've learned rest is not optional. You either rest intentionally or your body forces you to rest. Like I said, I was getting sick a lot, burning out, breaking down. And trust me, planned rest is so much better than forced rest, because it always comes at the worst times when you're sick. It's always, oh, I had 1,000,005 things to do today, but of course I'm sick now. I learned that rest doesn't always look like doing nothing. Sometimes rest is something that fills you instead of drains you. Maybe reading that book you've been wanting to read, or taking a walk, creating something for fun, no goal, no outcome, no trying to build a business. I'm saying that because that's my problem. Sitting in silence, watching a show without scrolling on your phone at the same time. Anything that allows your nervous system to deregulate. It gives your brain a break. It gives your brain a break from the constant problem solving and vigilance. So start off by practicing noticing when you're tired, when you're overwhelmed, when you need help. We're so good at overriding these systems that sometimes we don't even recognize them anymore. Start paying attention to your body, your energy levels. Challenge the thoughts that come up when you think, I should be able to handle this myself. Ask yourself, says who? Where did I learn that? Is that actually true? When you think, I don't have time to rest, ask yourself, what am I afraid of if I stop? Ask for help with for small things. Practice saying, hey, can you help me with this? I'm struggling with something. I could use your perspective. See what happens. Also, scheduling rest like it's an appointment. Put it on your calendar. Treat it with the same importance you would treat a work meeting or other obligations, because it is that important. You can't pour from an empty cup. I know it's very cliche, but it's true. And here's something that's helped me. I started thinking about future me. When I'm exhausted and I keep pushing, when I need help but don't ask for it, I'm not being kind to future me. I'm setting myself up to crash. I'm making my life harder. But when I rest now and I ask for help, I'm taking care of future me. I'm making the space for me to thrive instead of survive. And I do want to address something important. You might have people in your life who don't understand this. You might have people who see resting and make comments, and they'll say, who see you asking for help and call you lazy or dramatic. And those people are showing you that they're not safe. People who respect you will support you taking care of yourself. People who've done their own healing work understand that rest and asking for help are signs of strength, not weakness. And if you're surrounded by people who glorify burnout, who compete over who can be more exhausted, you might need to find some new people, or at least people who have a little bit healthier patterns. You don't have to do everything alone. You don't have to push through everything. You don't have to earn the right to rest. You don't have to prove your worth through constant productivity. You're allowed to have needs. You're allowed to take up space and ask for what you need and prioritize your own well-being. Breaking generational cycles isn't just about not repeating the abuse. It's about not repeating the same patterns of self-abandonment and running yourself into the ground. It's about learning that your worth is not tied to your output. It's about building a life that's sustainable, not just one that looks impressive from outside when you're falling apart on the inside. This is hard work. Undoing years of survival programming is hard, but it's worth it because you deserve to live a life where you're supported, where you're rested, where you don't have to carry everything alone. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time on Beyond the Red House. Your healing matters. Your story matters. And you matter. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Red House. If you have a story to share or want to connect, email me at hello@kaylavalterno.com. Visit kaylavalterno.com for my book and resources to support your healing journey. Everything will be in the show notes. Keep building beyond whatever tried to break you. You are stronger than you know. This is Beyond the Red House.